Welcome to Yoga, You and Judy. I am Judy. Today I've got a class for you that is focused on not using our hands. So whether that is because you've hurt your wrists, you've hurt your hands, or maybe you just don't want to put any pressure on them, this class is for you. You don't need any props. You're not going to need any strength in your wrists. And with that said, let's get started. We start lying on the floor, the soles of our feet together and the knees gently falling apart. Maybe place your hands onto your stomach and feel yourself firmly rooted to the mat. And just start by focusing on your breath. Taking slow and deep breaths in and slow and deep breaths out. Try and have your exhale being slightly longer than your inhale. So as you breathe in, feel your belly rise. And then as you exhale slowly, you feel your belly button pulling towards your spine, drawing all the air out of your belly. And just stay here and focus on your breath, breathing in and just spending more time breathing out. Our practice today is a practice where we're not going to use our hands. We're not going to put any weight, any pressure onto our hands. And it's really meant for a time when you hurt your hands, you've hurt your wrists, or you just don't want to use them for a bit. You might have overdone it, but it will still be practicing our flexibility, our range of motion, and our strength just today without hands. We will be more on our feet than usual, and as we do so, we increase our balance. And our peak pose today is the extended hands to big toe pose. So once again, a standing pose. So just because we're not going to use our hands doesn't mean that we don't do proper yoga. So sometimes we might have little niggles, little things that are not 100% right. But it's important to remember that we don't need all the stars to be aligned to be able to do something. We just do it slightly differently. And that holds true both in our yoga practice, but also in life in general. So for a day when you just don't want to use your hands, not put any pressure on it, we just adapt our practice to make it possible and to enjoy it within the constraints of any given situation. So in this spirit, today's intention is, I am standing strong. And after your next exhale, we're going to start with just mobilizing our joints a bit. So pull your right knee into your chest, keep your left leg stretched out, and let's just start with some gentle hip circles on our right. Rotating our hip externally for a while, and then changing direction. And then holding the back of our thigh and stretching the right leg up into the sky. And let's just point and flex our toes a bit here. And then waking up the ankles even more, create some circles. First circling your ankles outward, and then inward. And then keeping your right leg pulled in, lift your shoulders, flex both feet, and then lift the left leg to hover just off the floor. And as you do that, your arms are reaching forward, palms facing each other. And let's just hold that for 5, for 4, 3, 2, 1. And let go, lowering your shoulders onto the mat and pulling both knees into your chest. And you might want to sway from side to side a bit. And then keeping the left knee pulled into your chest, the right leg stretched out long. Let's do those hip circles on the left, starting with some external circles. And then changing direction for some internal hip rotation. And then holding on to the back of your thighs, stretch your left leg into the sky. And let's just point and flex our toes. And then let's do some circles with our ankles. One direction and then change direction into the other side. And then keeping our left leg pulled in, let's lift the shoulders, flex both feet, lift the right leg, hovering off the floor, arms reaching forward, palms facing each other. And let's hold this for 5, 4, lower back stays firmly on the mat, 2, 1, and release, lowering your shoulders back onto the mat and pulling both knees into your chest. And then let's just work our core for a little bit longer. So extending our right leg back up, left leg extends forward, hovering. We lift our shoulders, arms forward, palms facing each other. And then we start scissoring our legs with our breath. So right leg down, left leg up, and switch, 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 and just keep doing that for a while in line with your breath. And let's do that for 3 more. 2, 1. And lower your shoulders back onto the mat, pulling both knees into the chest. And once again, maybe swaying from side to side a bit, massaging our lower back. And then coming into a happy baby to start opening our hips a bit, so the soles of our feet are pointing towards the ceiling, and we take hold of our feet from the outside and try to pull our knees towards the floor while the soles of our feet are pushing up towards the ceiling. And just hold it here for a moment, feel that nice hip opening, and then you can start playing a bit with stretching one leg, not all the way, we haven't really warmed up our legs yet, and then bring it back in, stretch out the other way. You might like to keep your knees slightly bent, pull it back in, and then maybe try both legs straightening. Keep your knees bent, not a problem. Bringing them back in and then placing the soles of our feet on the mat, knees bend. And then a bit more of a core workout, lifting our shoulders, arms reaching forward. This time our palms are facing up, and we start pulsing the palms of our hands upwards as we press the lower back firmly into the mat. And keep pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And now we're going to do some side movements. So once again, arms forward, palms facing each other, lifting our shoulders, and then bending to the right hand taps the right ankle, back to center, left hand taps left ankle, back to center, and keep doing those sideward movements with your hands touching your ankles in a controlled way, back to center, and just make these movements in line with your breath. So exhale as you reach your ankle, inhale back, exhale down, inhale back. And let's do that for 10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release, lowering your shoulders back onto the mat and pulling both knees into your chest, and just rest for a moment. And then let's open our arms out in a T shape, and keeping our knees into our chest, drop them over to the right for a twist. Inhale back to center, exhale to the left, inhale back to center, exhale right, back to center, and keep doing that with your breath. Exhale as you bring your knees down, inhale them back to center. And then once you've completed your next full twist to both sides, let's bring the hands behind our thighs and start rolling back and forth. Just do that a few times, and then as you come up next time, hold your balance, come into a boat pose. With your lower legs parallel to the floor, your back straight, arms reaching forward with the palms facing each other. And let's hold this for a moment. And then we just start doing some gentle side movements. So palms of your hands together to the right and over to the left, back to the right, back to the left, and just keep making those controlled movements side to side in line with your breath. Just for a little bit longer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then let's take our hands behind our thighs, start rolling back and forth again, back and forth. And the last time we come forward, we come onto our feet into a standing chair pose. And let's just hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and on your next exhale, come all the way up with your arms by your side. And then just keep standing there. Just check your alignment. ensuring that the outer edges of your feet are parallel to each other. Shoulders pulling slightly back, down and away from your ears. And your pelvis is slightly tilted, so your belly button is pulling towards your spine. And imagine you're breathing all of your organs up as you breathe in, belly button pulling to your spine. And then let's open up, pulling the arms out to the side and behind on an in-breath, and then rounding our back arms, waving forward on an out-breath. And keep that alignment in your lower back. And again, breathing in, open up. Breathing out, rounding back, waving forward. Breathing in. Round your back, breathing out. And one last time, breathing in, open it all up. And then breathing out, rounding your back, arms waving forward. And then keep your arms out front, parallel to the floor. Palms facing each other. And then just pull your shoulders back slightly by bringing your shoulder blades closer to each other, but the shoulders are pulling away from the ears. And then push forward your shoulder blades like your fingertips want to touch the wall in front of you. Bring your shoulder blades together. Exhale, push them away from each other. Inhale, bring them together. Exhale, push them away from each other. One last time, inhale them back. Exhale, push them forward. And then as you're forward, you interlace your hands and you bring your arms up overhead with your arms stretched up by your ears. And then up there, keep your hands interlaced, but keep your index fingers straight. And then on an inhale, grow taller. On an exhale, side bend over to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. One last time. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. And then release, bringing your arms down by the side of your body. And just take one full breath here. And then on your next inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward from your hip, coming into a forward fold. And then start stretching out your legs by slightly bending your knees, hanging heavy with your belly touching your thighs, coming into a ragdoll fold. And then as you're hanging here, start bending the right knee, left is straight. Bend the left knee, straighten the right, almost like you're walking on the spot. And just do that for a little while to stretch out the backs of your legs. And then once you've done that, find some stillness and just hang forward heavily, feeling that nice release on your lower back. And then let's inhale, halfway lift, straight back. Exhale, fold forward, maybe a bit deeper this time, and holding on to the backs of our ankles. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. And then very slowly roll all the way up to standing, with your head being the last thing to come up. And find a strong, steady stance here with the outer edges of your feet parallel, so your thighs are rolling slightly inward towards each other, shoulders away from the ears. And then we start by building a bit of balance for our flow. So stand firmly on your left leg, lifting your right leg to the side, and start drawing circles of 8. Let's do a few circles in one direction, and then let's reverse our circles of 8. And let that go, right leg down. And then standing firmly on your right leg, let's lift the left leg to the side, drawing our circles of 8. Changing direction. And put your left foot back down. And then standing still, let's bring our right knee and our right elbow together and down. Left knee, left elbow, down. Right knee, right elbow, left knee, left elbow. Right knee, right elbow, left knee, left elbow. And from here we are going to come into our tree pose. So strong stand on your left leg and bring the sole of your right foot on the inside of your left thigh. Keep your core engaged, so your belly button is pulling towards your spine, pelvis slightly tucked, and your left thigh is pressing against your right foot. And then find your balance here. Hands either in front of heart center or stretched out. And then gently release. Standing strongly on our right leg this time. Let's bring the sole of the left foot onto the inside of the right thigh. Finding our alignment, finding our balance, core engaged. And then hands either in front of heart center or raised above. And just take a few full breaths here. And back to standing. Inhale, breathing your arms up and stepping back your left leg into a lunge. Lower the back knee to the mat, and let's take a full breath here. And then inhale here, and on your exhale, twist to the right, opening up your arms. Taking one full breath here. Back to center. On your next exhale, shift back to half split, straightening the right leg. Your hands are pulling back on your exhale. And take one full breath here as you fold over your front leg with a straight spine. Bend back into your front knee, bringing your arms overhead, and bring your hands to your heart center. Take an inhale here. On your next exhale, you twist to the right, hooking the left elbow outside your right knee. One full breath. Inhaling back to center, tucking the back toe and pushing into that back foot, lifting yourself up to a high lunge. One full breath, you might have guessed it. And then step that left leg forward to meet the right foot. Come into a standing pose, hands by your side. One inhale. One exhale. And then once again, let's breathe our arms up. Stepping the right leg back this time into a lunge, lowering the back knee to the mat, taking one full breath here. Inhale, grow taller. Exhale, twist to the left, opening your arms. Staying here for one full breath. Back to center. Arms up, and on your next exhale you shift back to half splits, straightening your front leg, hands pulling back, and with a straight spine we fold over that front leg, taking one full breath here. And then bending back into that front knee, arms overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale here. On your next exhale, you twist to the left, hooking the right elbow just outside the left knee. Taking one inhale. One exhale. And back to center, tuck that back toe, push into the back foot and lift up into a high lunge, arms overhead. And then let's step that right leg forward to meet the left foot. Come into a standing position, arms by your side. Inhaling our arms back up, sinking into a chair pose. Just hold that for a moment. And then let's come onto our toes and hold that for a moment. Inhaling here, growing a bit taller. Exhale your arms back, keeping them close to your body. Inhale your arms back up into chair. Exhale them back. Inhale them back up. And exhale, release your arms down, back into a standing pose. We're now going to take a strong stand on our right foot, and we cross our left ankle over our right knee, coming into a figure of 4. Taking one full breath here, you can bring your hands in front of your heart center. And then sinking your hips towards the floor. And taking one full breath here. And then from here, we're going to inhale our left knee up in front of us. And we step it back, coming into a high lunge. Taking one full breath here. And then we bend forward, bringing both arms out in front of us, parallel to the mat, palms facing each other. And then inhale the arms to the side in a T shape. Exhale them forward. Inhale into T-shape. Exhale forward. Inhale into T-shape. Exhale forward, plant your back foot and come into Warrior Two, making sure your front heel is aligned with your back arch and your front knee is pushing towards the right as you sink a bit deeper into your Warrior Two. Inhale as you straighten the front leg. Left hand slides down the back of your thigh. Right hand reaches back overhead, coming into a reverse triangle. And then bringing your arms back parallel to the floor. Right hand pulls forward and exhale into triangle pose, placing your hand either on your ankle or on the floor. Left arm reaching to the sky, taking one full breath here. Keep your core engaged with the belly button pulling towards the spine. And then breathing yourself back up, both arms overhead. Feet turn parallel to face the long end of the mat. Then fold over your right leg, keeping your back straight. Walking over, folding over your left leg, again keeping your back as straight as you can. And then let's turn that left foot to point to the back of the mat. Bend into the left leg, step the right foot next to the left and come into a standing pose, arms by your side, this time facing the back of your mat. One full breath. And then let's come to our figure of four on the other side. So find a strong stand on your left foot, crossing your right ankle over your left knee, bringing your hands in front of heart center and just hold this for a moment. And then sink your hips towards the floor, coming into a sort of figure of four chair pose. And then very slowly inhale your right knee up in front of you. Step it back very gently and lightly, coming into a high lunge. And let's take one full breath here. And then leaning forward, bringing both arms out in front of you, parallel to the mat, palms facing each other. Inhale your arms to the side into a T shape. Exhale, forward, palms facing each other. Inhale back into T. Exhale forward. Inhale into a T. Exhale forward. And from here, open up to your Warrior Two on the other side. Thighs pulling towards each other, back leg engaged, left knee pushing towards the left. And just stay for a moment. And then on your next inhale, straighten the front leg. The right hand slides down the back of the thigh. Left hand reaches back overhead, coming into your reverse triangle. Breathing in and breathing out. And then bringing your arms parallel to the floor. Left hand pulls forward and exhale your left hand down, either onto your shin, your ankle, or onto the floor into triangle. Right arm reaches up to the ceiling and keep your core engaged. as you take one full breath in your triangle pose. And then inhale yourself back up, both arms overhead, feet turning parallel to face the long end of the mat. Interlace your fingers behind your back, open the heart and look up to the sky. And on your exhale, fold forward, bringing your arms overhead and taking one full breath here, enjoying this nice shoulder stretch and also a nice stretch at the back of your legs. And then inhale yourself back up, bring your feet next to each other, still facing the long end of the mat, and just come into a standing pose. And let's take a few breaths here. And then keeping the outer edges of your feet parallel, let's inhale our arms out wide and then bring the right arm below the left. Wrap your arms around each other so that your palms touch, or maybe the backs of your hands, coming into eagle arms. And then crossing the right leg over the left, wrapping it all the way around if possible, and sinking your hips low, eagle arms and eagle legs for one full breath. Then unwind, inhale your right knee into your chest in front of you, trying to keep the thigh as close to the heart as you can. And then with your right index and middle finger, take hold of your big toe. Find your balance here first with a bent knee. The left hand can either go on your waist, stretched up, stretched out to the side, whatever helps you to find your balance. And then maybe stretch out that right leg into an extended hand to big toe pose. Set your gaze on a fixed point in front of you to help with balance. And just hold this for a moment. Remember that balancing requires strength of muscles, stability of joints, but also trust in oneself as we play with our sense of balance and counterbalance. And if you want more, bring the right leg out to the right side, moving the left hand to the left for counterbalance. And then slowly unravel, setting your right foot back down, and take a few nice breaths in your standing pose. And then we're going to take that whole thing to the other side. So outer edges of your feet parallel, nicely aligned. Let's inhale our arms out wide, and this time we bring the left arm below the right, wrapping the arms around each other, either palms touching or backs of hands touching. And then with our eagle arms, we cross the left leg over the right, wrapping it all the way around if possible, and sinking our hips low, taking a nice full breath here. And then unwinding everything, bring your left knee into your chest in front of you, taking hold of your big toe with your left index and middle finger, and then maybe stretch out the left leg in front of you into an extended hand to big toe pose. If you want to take that a bit further, maybe take the left leg out towards the left, trying to keep your balance by moving your right hand a bit further over to the right. And then wherever you are, slowly And gently set your right foot back down. And once again, let's take a few relaxing breaths in our standing pose. And then we're going to step our feet about hip-width distance apart, toes pointing out slightly, hands in prayer. And then very, very slowly, we're going to sink down into a yogi squat. And then from here, very gently come into a seated position, soles of your feet touching, coming into a butterfly pose, pressing the soles of your feet together, taking an inhale, growing taller, and on your exhale, start folding forward with a straight back. You can hold on to your feet. You can take your hands forward. Take one more inhale, straightening your back, pulling the crown of your head forward. And then with your next exhale, just let it go round your back. And just hang heavy for a moment, feeling that nice rounding of your spine. And then breathing yourself back up again, opening your legs wide, coming into a straddle. And then we'll interlace our hands in front of us, and we start drawing some nice circles over our legs. So exhale, circling over your legs. Inhale as you lean back. Exhale, circle. Inhale back. Do that a few times in line with your own breath. And then start reversing your circles, going the other direction. Exhale as you circle over your legs. Inhale as you come back. And then find your stillness. Placing the right lower arm on your mat inside of your right leg. Left arm stretches overhead by the side of your ear to the right. Heart opening up to the sky. Taking one full breath here, feeling that nice opening all the way along the left-hand side. Back to center. This time the left lower arm comes to the inside of the left leg. Right arm stretches overhead alongside the right ear. Heart opening up to the sky. One full breath. And then back to center, stretching both legs out in front of you. And then bending the right knee over your left knee so that your right foot rests just outside your left thigh, left knee bend. And then the left hand reaches up and comes behind towards your shoulder blades. Your right hand wraps around behind you, trying to reach your left hand and coming into a bind of your hands or as close as you can get them together, keeping your spine straight, pushing the back of your neck into your left hand, and just take a few full breaths here, feeling this nice stretch of the hip and the nice stretch of the shoulders. If you want to take that a bit deeper, you can bend forwards a little bit, but just make sure that you keep your spine straight. And then let's unwind our arms, taking the right hand behind the right buttock for support and the left hand to the outside of the right knee for a nice twist. Inhale as you grow taller, exhale as you twist a bit deeper. And then unwind your twist, unwind your legs, and let's take that all to the other side. So your left knee bends over your right knee, so that your left foot is resting outside your right thigh, right knee bend. And then your right hand reaches up behind onto your shoulder blades, left hand wraps around, and we create a bind behind our back, or maybe the fingertips just touch, but we're not binding. Doesn't really matter as long as you have that shoulder rotation, keeping your spine straight. And then let's take a few full breaths here. Your chin is slightly tucked and the back of your neck is pressing into your right hand. And if you want to take it a bit further, you can gently bend forward, but keeping your spine straight. And then let's unwind your arms, taking the left hand behind the left buttock for support, right hand to the outside of the left knee for a nice twist. Inhale as you grow taller, exhale as you twist a bit deeper. Unwind that twist, unwind your legs, and rolling onto your back, soles of your feet on the floor, and having your heels close to your buttocks. And just take a breath here. And then we're going to come into our reclined pigeon, so crossing the right ankle over the left knee, keeping the right foot flexed. Reaching our right hand through in between our thighs, interlacing the fingers on the left shin, pulling the left leg into our chest as the right knee pushes away from our body, feeling that nice stretch on the right hip. And just breathe into this reclined pigeon. And then back to neutral, soles of the feet on the floor, reclined pigeon on the other side, so crossing our left ankle over the right knee, keeping the left foot flexed. Left hand reaching through in between the thighs, interlacing the fingers on the right shin this time, pulling the right leg into the chest as the left knee pushes away from the body for a nice stretch on the left hip this time. And then just breathe into that. And then both feet back on the floor, taking a gentle back bend with our bridge pose, so keeping the outer edges of our feet parallel, and then inhaling our hips up, keeping the knees together like you're holding something in between them that you don't want to drop, and just come into your bridge pose and hold that for a moment. Every time you inhale, push your hips a bit further, and as you exhale, sink a bit deeper into it. And then on your next exhale, come all the way back down. Stretch out your legs, hugging your right knee into the chest on an inhale, and exhale, bring the right knee over to the left. Right shoulder stays on the mat, right arm stretched out, gaze to the right hand for one last twist to unwind. And then back to center, stretch out both legs, hugging your left knee into the chest this time. And on your next exhale, bring your left knee over to the right, maybe helped by your right hand. Keeping your left shoulder on the mat, left arm is stretched out, gaze to the left. And then back to center. Stretch out your legs, letting your feet fall gently to the side. Bringing your arms next to your body but not touching, palms facing up, coming into your Shavasana, into your relaxing resting pose. And then just relax your body into the earth. Feel all the parts of your body relax into the ground below you. Feel your head, your neck, shoulders, spine, belly, hips, your legs, your heels. Feel them all sink into the ground below you. Feel the effects of your practice on your body and on your mind. Feel the flexibility you created in your body and in your mind. And let go of the concept of perfection. Not all things need to be aligned to get a great result or to get enjoyment. We just adjust to the not so perfect circumstances. Whether that's an aching wrist, a hurt emotion, or anything else not quite going to plan. Focus on the things you can do. Maybe do them slightly differently if needed. But focus on the things that are possible. Believe you can stand strong, no matter the circumstances. And then very slowly and very gently start bringing movement back into your body. Start moving your fingers, your toes, maybe circling your wrists and your ankles, or turning your head from side to side. And then in any way that's comfortable for you, make your way up into a seated position, keeping your eyes closed, and just take a cross-legged position on your mat. And then let's take an inhale as we bring our arms overhead. And exhale your hands in front of heart center. And then very slowly and very gently open your eyes. I hope you enjoyed this class with no hands, with no weight on our hands to give our wrists a break. If you did enjoy the class, please subscribe to Yoga, You and Judy, and I hope to see you again very soon. Have a beautiful day.